Okay, in this video, we're going to go ahead and work on homework problems from section 11.8 expected value. We're going to do problems number 3 and 4. All right, let's go ahead and read the problem. This is from MyMathLab homework, problems 3 and 4. Problem number 3. An architect is considering bidding for the design of a new museum. The cost of drawing plans and submitting a model is $14,000. The probability of being awarded the bid is 0.4, and the anticipated profits are $35,000, resulting in a possible gain of this amount minus the $14,000 cost for plans and a model. Okay, what is the expected value in this situation? Okay, now, the expected value is each outcome times its probability. Okay, now, we can also do them in a list in the calculator. But let's go ahead and do, in the list in the calculator, and L1 are the values, and L2 are the probabilities. Okay, now, one of the things that can occur is that they are awarded the bid. Okay, if they are awarded the bid, their profits are $35,000 minus $14,000. So $35,000 minus $14,000 will, of course, leave us with $21,000. So if they get the bid, they make $21,000, and the probability goes in L2, which being awarded the bid is 0.4. Okay? Now, if they do not get the bid, then you can go ahead, then what happens is they had to submit the model for $14,000. They spent that money, they don't get any of it back. So actually the outcome is a negative $14,000. And now notice, if getting the bid, either they get the bid or they don't. So the two probabilities add up to 1. So what you can do is you can subtract from 1 the probability of getting the bid, which is 0.4. So 1 minus 0.4 is 0.6. So the probability that they do not get the bid is 0.6. Now, you can do the expected value just multiplying, or you can put it into a list. I'll do it both ways in a minute. The expected value is each outcome. So the first outcome is 21,000 times 0.4 plus a negative 14,000 times 0.06. And then we can go ahead and do that on our calculator. 14,000, okay? So we'll go ahead and do that. So if we do that on our calculator, we have the profit is 21,000 times awarding the bid, we said, is 0.4, or we can put in 0.4, plus not getting the bid, which they lose, so you need a negative. The negative is below the 3, 14,000, and the probability is 0.6. And so we get an expected value of 0. Okay? Now, which is the correct answer, choose the statement below that best describes the value. In the long run, the architect would expect to earn this amount. In the long run, the architect would expect to lose it. In the long run, the architect would expect to break even, or none of the above. When you do the expected value, if you get a positive number, a number greater than 0, then the answer is going to be earn this amount. If you get a negative number when you do the expected value, then it's going to be to lose. And the architect would expect to, if you get 0, which we did in this case, then you're going to break even, right? Over the long run, you're not going to make any money and you're not going to lose any money, okay? So in the long run, you would go ahead, in this case, the answer would be, since it's 0, it would be break even, okay? Now, on the calculator, you can do it another way. You can do it in your list functions. So on the calculator, you can go to the stat key, which is 2 over from the green alpha, and you want to do editing. You want to put in numbers, right? So we would go ahead and do editing. And now what did we say? We have our list L1 and L2. If you have numbers in L1 or L2, what you can do is you can highlight, you can use your arrow keys, highlight L1 and hit clear. Don't hit delete, but hit clear and then hit enter and you'll get rid of all your values. Okay? So now we can put in, if they get the bid, remember it was 35,000 minus 14,000, which was 21,000. Oops, I think I got too many zeros. 21,000. And then if they do not get the bid, remember they had to pay for the submitting the model, and they're going to lose that money. So it's a negative $14,000. Those are values are in L1. In L2, the values are the probabilities. Being awarded the bid was 0.4, right? They gave us that in the problem, 0.4. And remember, either you do it, you get the bid, or you don't. So you can actually do it here. You can do the calculation 1 minus the probability of getting the bid, which is 0.4, and then you go ahead and do that, and 1 minus 0.4 is 0.6. Okay? So there's our values in L1 and our probabilities in L2. Okay? Now we can go ahead and go back to the stat key, go over to calculations. We're always going to do one variable. Even though we have 2 lists, it's only one variable. It's only an architect bidding on a design of a new museum. So it's always one variable, so all you have to do is hit enter because it's already highlighted. And if you have a newer version of the TI-84, I think the first line, at the end of the first line, you're going to hit second number 1 for L1, and then you're going to go down to the second line, hit second number 2 for L2 for the frequencies, I think it says, and then you're going to go to the third line and highlight, calculate, and hit enter and get your answer. If you have an old TI-84 like this one, then you're going to go ahead and do L1, comma, and then second number 2, L2, and then hit enter. And X bar is the expected value over the long run, the first value, which is 0, which is what we got when we did the formula, each outcome times its probability. And then, of course, we said in the long run, we would expect to break even when we have an expected value of 0. All right? Okay. Let's go ahead and look at number 4. A construction company is planning to bid on a building contract. The bid cost the company $1,700. The probability that the bid is accepted is 1/10. If the bid is accepted, the company will make $82,000 minus the cost of the bid. What is the expected value of this situation? Okay, again, if we want to use our calculator, we're going to have the values, the money values in L1 and the probabilities in L2, right? Now, what is one thing that can happen? They can get the bid. Okay, if they get the bid, the company will make what? $82,000 minus the cost of the bid. So $82,000 minus the cost of the bid, which is $1,700, and you're going to get, oops, 0, 0. Sorry, did a little bit. Didn't have to borrow that much, right? Just had to borrow here 0, 0, 3, and 0. So it would be $80,300. Obviously, you can do that on your calculator. $80,300. And we probably don't want to put commas in our calculator. so I'll just put 80,300. Now, what's the probability that they get the bid? 1/10. If they do not get the bid, right, then what happens is what? They lose what they had to spend on the bid, which is 1,700, right? So that would be a loss of 1,700, negative 1,700. Now, it's going to be 1 minus 1/10, which will be 9/10, right? 0.1, or 1 minus 0.1 will be 9/10. So these will be our values in L1, and these will be our values in L2, and we'll go ahead and get our expected value. Okay? So what we have is, we'll go to stat, edit. Now we got to clear out our old values, and we'll go ahead and clear and clear. And okay, in L1 we had what? If they get the bid, it was 80,300. If they do not get the bid, they will lose what they had to, the bid cost the company 1,700, so L minus 1,700. Getting the bid is 1 divided by 10, or 1/10. Not getting the bid will be 1 minus 1 divided by 10. It'll automatically do the math for you, which is 9/10 or 0.9. And now remember, to get the expected value, we go back to the stat key. We use the right arrow key for calculations. We hit enter because we have one variable, stats. And then in my calculator, I'm going to do L1, comma, L2. You're going to put L1 in the first line, L2 in the second line, and then calculate. And then go ahead and hit enter. And X bar is the expected value, which in this case is 6,500, which is indeed the correct answer. And remember, when we have a positive number, then it is expected to earn this amount. And if the X bar was a negative, it would be lose, and 0. If it was 0, it would be break even. So the company would expect to earn this amount. Okay? That takes care of problems 3 and 4. If you have any questions, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you. And my email address is tswers@hodges.edu.